Okay, Dad. So, if you could go back 20 years from now, what would you change about your life?
So 20 years ago, I had just finished law school
Okay.
and I didn't have children. So I would probably try to put about $5,000 or $10,000 in savings and like investments and just leave it there.
Good answer. Okay. Second question. Do you fear death? Why or why not?
I fear no man or death. I do fear God in a healthy way. So that compels me or motivates me to try to do things His way, even if people on earth don't like that. So no, I don't fear death. I do think that it acts in a way to keep me focused on right now and like the blessings I have and try to make the most of the time here, but to be confident that this is not all there is.
Interesting answer. Okay. Question number 3. Looking back on your life, what were the prime years do you wish that you could like relive? Like your glory days.
My glory days. It just depends on stages in life. I mean, because they're not all the same, right? So there might have been glory in high school but I didn't have kids or I wasn't married, and so I wasn't going through those phases, which are really enjoyable. So sometimes you can't have, all those things combined. I made a list before I went to law school of things I want to accomplish, and honestly, most of those I've already checked off my list. And so, because of social media, it's all out there, right? So if I ever want to relive it, I can see it easily. And so, I think that when you and your brother and sister were younger, I probably would have stayed home and like did things at home more and just sort of enjoyed the time where we didn't have to go anywhere. Right? And we did that a lot, but I think there were times where we wanted to go out and about. Let's go to this trip, or let's go, see people and do those things, which was fun. But I think if I had to relive a period I always wanted to be a father and have a family. So those were, I really enjoyed those early days of, the backyard and Buda and all that stuff. I probably would love to go back to all those birthday parties. Were just so much fun, and I would probably, I'd probably make people come over to my house more so I could stay home and just, really enjoy all that at our own home together.
Great answer. Okay. Question number 4. What is the biggest accomplishment you have made throughout your life?
Personally, professionally?
Let's start with personally, and then we can get into professional.
Okay. There are some things that didn't work out the way that I wanted personally. But I think in many ways, I got to experience, the joys of leading a family, starting a family, and raising a family. And I don't know if that's a goal to some people. It was always a goal to me. That was always something that I looked forward to. And so the fact that I have been able to do that, the Disney trip was pretty good too. But that's being able to have that time and that role as a father and the leader of our family, and for some time a husband. Those were goals, and I'm grateful that I got to accomplish them, if you will, experience them.
Okay. Last question, question number 5. How do you see yourself?
Well, you forgot about the professional.
Professional. That's right. Okay.
So, one of the things that I wrote as a goal of mine when I was right out of college is that I wanted to be the lawyer to argue the case at the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn the Roe versus Wade abortion decision. So I didn't quite get to that, but we know that Roe versus Wade's been overturned, and I was the leader and the advocate and the strategist, the lead strategist that got the heartbeat law passed. And according to Wikipedia, that state law being in place had an impact on the Supreme Court seeing that we could have protections for life without the sky falling. And so a lot of people believe that the Texas heartbeat law and what it showed and accomplished allowed the Supreme Court to say we're ready to overturn Roe versus Wade. So it's pretty close.
Yeah.
So that's without a doubt one of my my top accomplishment professionally.
Nice. Okay. Last question, question number 5. How do you see yourself and your children?
How do I see them?
Yeah, and how do you see yourself and your children?
Oh, in my children. You know, I think it's the same for me as is probably a lot of people, that you see pieces of yourself in one child or in all children, and it's different in different phases. You know, I think with Jonathan Jr., with Johnny, I see the commitment and determination, but also at times having to deal with shortcomings and people doubting you and having to overcome a lot of obstacles, which I had to do at times. And so I see some of that coming out in him, and you know, and he's still gonna have opportunities to continue to do that. I think, you know, with Jonah, I see the Jonah style coming a lot for me. A lot of the things that you wear and your mannerisms, the way that you're polite to people a lot, and you know, you care about your appearance, and but also, you know, being a little bit organized and so on, and that you you know, you care very deeply. That's something that I think is a lot from me, and possibly your mother too. But and with Elia, you know, I'm still trying to figure that out sometimes. I see more. I mean, it's different because she's a girl. I think I see, you know, I see some of the things that I used to experience, which is being the younger child and having to live up to certain expectations and wanting to find your place and your niche. You know, she's developed into becoming a very successful cheerleader, and I think will continue to be. And that a lot was my journey when I played tennis in high school. And so, but I think a lot of what I see really is your mother, her mother, you know, and being a girl, and sometimes my sisters, and some of that. I guess I do like to sing, so you can blame that on me, that she does that a lot.
Okay, great interview, Mr. Signs.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Signs.
Okay.